Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party, ruled Germany from 1933 to 1945. His rule was characterized by the establishment of a dictatorship based on an ideology of racial superiority. He started World War II by invading Poland in 1939 and sought to establish a totalitarian state. One of the most tragic aspects of his rule was the Holocaust, in which millions of Jews were killed, as well as members of other groups, including Roma, the disabled, and political opponents. Hitler's aggressive foreign policy led to destruction, the deaths of millions, and the destruction of Europe. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, who led the Soviet Union from the mid-1920s until his death in 1953, became a symbol of totalitarian power. His policies included collectivization of agriculture, large-scale purges, and repressions that led to the suffering of millions of people. The Great Terror of the 1930s was accompanied by mass arrests, executions, and exiles. One of the tragedies associated with his rule was the Holodomor in Ukraine, caused by violent policies. Under Stalin's leadership, the USSR achieved industrialization and victory in World War II, but at the cost of enormous human lives. Only 5% of viewers will be able to like and subscribe to the channel before the timer runs out. Comment done if you had time to do it in time. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, the founder of the People's Republic of China, led the country from 1949 until his death in 1976. His ambitious reforms, such as the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, brought about significant changes in Chinese society, but also had serious consequences. The Great Leap Forward resulted in a mass famine that killed millions of people. The political purges and repressions of the Cultural Revolution left deep scars in society, destroying the cultural heritage and destinies of millions of people. Pol Pot. Pol Pot, the leader of the Khmer Rouge regime, ruled Cambodia from 1975 to 1979. His radical communist policies included mass deportations of urban dwellers, the creation of labor camps, and mass executions. During his rule, about a quarter of the country's population died. Repression and inhumane treatment led to hunger, disease, and suffering for millions. His rule was one of the darkest periods in Cambodia's history. Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar, born in 1949. In Colombia, Pablo Escobar became one of the most notorious drug lords in history, founding the Medellin cartel. In the 1980s, he controlled up to 80% of the world's cocaine market, earning billions of dollars. Escobar led a double life. On the one hand, he was a criminal responsible for violence, including terrorist attacks and the murders of judges, politicians, and police officers. On the other, he built hospitals, schools, and stadiums, receiving support from the poor. In 1993, he was killed in an operation by Colombian security forces, but his activities left a deep mark on the country's history. Augusto Pinochet. Augusto Pinochet, who ruled Chile from 1973 to 1990, came to power in a military coup. His regime was marked by repression, torture, and the disappearance of thousands of political opponents. The economic reforms carried out under his rule came at significant social costs. Benito Mussolini. Benito Mussolini, leader of Italy from 1922 to 1943, established a fascist regime characterized by authoritarian rule and militarism. His dream of restoring the glory of the Roman Empire led to an aggressive foreign policy, including the invasion of Ethiopia. An alliance with Nazi Germany in World War II led to his downfall and the collapse of his regime. Idi Amin. Idi Amin, the dictator of Uganda from 1971 to 1979, is remembered for his brutality and despotism. He came to power through a military coup and established a reign of terror. His rule was marked by mass murder, ethnic cleansing, and torture. The economic chaos caused by his policies and the repression led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Ugandans. The nickname Butcher of Uganda stuck with him because of his ruthless cruelty. Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, the founder of the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda, is known as the organizer of the September 11, 2001 attacks in the United States, which killed almost 3,000 people. His extremist ideology advocated violence against Western countries and secular Muslim governments. Under his leadership, Al-Qaeda carried out numerous terrorist attacks around the world. After a long search, he was eliminated in 2011 in Pakistan during a special operation by the United States. Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, president of Iraq from 1979 to 2003, was known for his authoritarian style of rule and aggressive foreign policy. His invasions of Iran and Kuwait led to long wars and the country's international isolation. His regime was notorious for mass repression, including the use of chemical weapons against the Kurds. Hussein was captured by the U.S. military in 2003 and later executed. Heinrich Himmler. Heinrich Himmler, a leading figure in the Nazi regime. As Reichsführer SS, he led the powerful paramilitary organization, playing a leading role in the development and implementation of the Holocaust. Under his leadership, concentration camps were created and systematized, where millions of Jews, Roma, political prisoners, and other undesirables perished. His quest for racial purity led to crimes against humanity on an unprecedented scale, including rape, torture, and genocide. Despite his role, Himmler attempted to evade responsibility by attempting to secretly negotiate with the Allies at the end of the war. He was captured, but committed suicide in 1945 before he could stand trial. Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels, the Minister of Propaganda in Nazi Germany, played a major role in spreading Hitler's ideology. He controlled the media and used it to amplify anti-Semitism and radicalize society. One of the main goals of Goebbels' propaganda was to spread anti-Semitism. His department organized large-scale campaigns aimed at demonizing the Jewish population. Goebbels was one of the organizers of Kristallnacht in 1938, a large-scale pogrom in which Jewish homes, shops, and synagogues were attacked. After the Führer's death, Goebbels became chancellor for a day and then committed suicide along with his wife after killing his 6 children.
Thank you for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.